Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest and welcome to October 8, 2024. We are moving into storm season in Brisbane. Time is 2:12 p.m, about 15 minutes left of trading today. The whole reason I said we are moving into storm season in Brisbane is because there are storms in the area. This was to expectations. There is a southerly change coming up the coast. And a lot of times when you do see a southerly change coming up the coast in October or this time of year, November, you have increased possibilities of thunderstorms. At this point in time, not a threat for me within the next hour. The worst case scenario, these storms are severe without doubt. The worst case scenario, when I say severe, probably some pretty big hail in some of these storms moving towards Logan and moving towards the southern border ranges. I'm closer to Sanford. So I will be looking to my west, and at this point in time, I think with the next hour, more than likely I won't be hit. My biggest fear would be maybe losing power for a brief period of time as I am recording a video. And interesting enough, focusing on the storms in southeast Queensland, I'm also focusing on Hurricane Milton, making history. In 24 hours, it went from a tropical storm to a Cat 5 hurricane. That is really rare. It is the second time Category 5 system has developed in the Gulf of Mexico. The first time was Hurricane Michael. If you don't know my first name, it's Michael. In fact, Michael has been retired as the name of a hurricane. They actually do retire names, and Michael has been retired. And because it was retired, they had to come up with a new M, and that name was Milton. Another interesting thing, I had a look at some footage. These are wonderful times we're living in. So I was looking at some news footage from live streaming from Tampa Bay, because it looks like the hurricane is moving towards that area, and they're evacuating the city. And it was just really interesting to see how they were evacuating the city. Cars were driving on shoulders. So they actually had 2 extra lanes, and the other side of the road was free of traffic. I've actually had this before in my life. Back in 1998, I was actually driving into New Orleans before Hurricane George. I was a stupid idiot back then, not realizing that New Orleans was probably the worst place to be in a hurricane. And fortunately, this particular hurricane curved and actually missed New Orleans to the west. So New Orleans was to the west, which is the best side of the hurricane. So I was very fortunate. Anyway, so I have seen these instances where they have evacuated a city, and you just wonder, why aren't you using the other side of the road? Well, that has to be empty for emergency vehicles, that sort of thing. But it's just really interesting, these sort of things. Now, I am a weather nerd. That's why I'm rambling on right now. I am a weather nerd. And in fact, I'd probably say I'm a nature nerd. I just love these sort of things because it just reminds us all that nature can be not only a wonderful thing, it can also be a scary thing. We always have to respect nature. And one of the reasons I love hiking, particularly hiking up mountains, is when you're sitting on top of a mountain and you have a beautiful view. In my opinion, that is nature's art. And the whole point of art is to evoke emotion. And whenever I'm sitting on top of a mountain with beautiful views, I definitely am emotional. Just a wonderful feeling. And I get the same thing when it comes to storms, hurricanes, and all of that sort of thing. Anyway, this video is not about weather. Sorry about getting a little bit passionate about this sort of thing. It's the whole reason why I became a professional meteorologist. But this is about the market, the ASX today. What has happened on the markets? We have about 50 minutes left of trading today. And overall, today has been negative. Lots of red, particularly when it comes to resources, down 1.87%, tech down 0.92%, and even small caps down 0.72%. So more than likely, my portfolio is down today, but that's okay. It's had a pretty good run over the past few weeks, so can't really complain. Now, the agenda for today's video, we'll go through the ASX today, looking at the best and worst performing sectors, indices, and also companies. I have come up with the top 5 stocks of the day, and the vast majority are fairly small companies. But I've also included Droneshield in the top 5 stocks of the day. And then I might touch upon West African Resources. Share price did rally today. Some good news. And maybe I'll also touch upon Brookside Energy. Did not include that company in my top 5, but they did release an interesting announcement. And initially, the market did like it, but there's too much negative sentiment in this company to drive the share price higher, even when they do release something quite positive. And then once we go through the top 5 stocks, I don't have any charts lined up, so I might just focus on your comments, and then we can have a look at some charts when we focus on your comments. In fact, we'll have a look at some charts when we go through the top 5 stocks of the day. Okay, so let's start looking at what's happening in the news today. Why not? Because Australian consumer mood highest in 2.5 years, and Australian business mood improves also. So looks like things are moving in the right direction. We want to see inflation dropping, but we also want to see mood increasing, because if we have increasing consumer mood, increasing business mood, that should help consumers spend and also businesses invest. Oils fall on profit taking. China stocks extend rally after long break. UK retail sales growth at 6-month high. So it's not only here, it's also overseas. So maybe thoughts of a recession, a little bit premature. The other thing I saw in Capital Brief, and this is interesting, iron ore stocks fall after China does not offer new stimulus package. That was at 12:45 p.m. Funny enough, when I was looking at the market early in the day, I noticed a lot of companies I do own were down, but the market was actually up. And I was like, oh, what's driving the ASX high today? It was actually iron ore. So iron ore companies seems like they have dropped because of no new Chinese stimulus. Now, that's interesting in itself. Okay, so let's have a look at the ASX today, focusing on the best and worst performing sectors, indices, and companies. And in fact, you can see it here. The XAO and the XJO were actually up at midday, and then they've just dropped since then. So more than likely, that's because of iron ore and Chinese stimulus. Just imagine that China can force us up or down. We've seen that over the past few weeks, and maybe that's not the best scenario. I do prefer to be like America, where they just drive themselves. We're like in the passenger seat right now. We're just going with the flow. Maybe passenger seat's not the right analogy. Maybe we're just following. We're not in lead car. We're way back, maybe 5 or 6 cars back, and we just follow the leader. Anyway, let's have a look at the best and worst performing sectors. Healthcare has had a pretty good day. I do have quite a few healthcare companies in my portfolio. I'm just going to have a quick look to see if it's been led higher by CSL, maybe. CSL, let's have a look. Oh, I didn't bring any water with me. Team. Yep, CSL, Fisher and Paykel. In fact, Fisher and Paykel were down a fair bit yesterday. Now, it looks like that was a little bit of no reaction from the market for some reason. So, healthcare's had a good day because of CSL and Fisher and Paykel. And other than that, financials relatively flat, same as real estate, discretionary, utilities, industrials. But energy, IT, and materials all down by more than 1%. In fact, materials almost down by 2%. And funny enough, gold's had a pretty good day. And again, we see gold moving in the complete opposite direction to the rest of the mining industry. Gold's had a good day. The rest of the mining industry's had a bad day. Is that uranium, iron ore, lithium? Don't know. And the ASX 20 is down 0.34%. I would imagine maybe some of the banks are up. So let's have a look at the ASX 20 just to see which companies have had a good day, which companies have not. And you can see the ASX 20 was up until about midday again, just like the XAO and XJO. So that more than likely is because of iron ore companies. In fact, let's have a look at an iron ore company. Let's focus on BHP. No, let's look at Rio Tinto. No, Fortescue, because that's a pure iron ore play. And let's have a look at the 5-minute chart, just to see the share price started falling about midday. And yeah, actually, yeah, this just shows you really well. In fact, the share price started to really fall. Is that right on no 11 o'clock? That's probably when the Chinese government came out with this no new Chinese stimulus or whatever, and the share price of Fortescue went from $20.60 down to $18.70 in a few hours. So the low in Fortescue was at 12:35, so 1 hour and 35 minutes. So you can just see, if you don't pay attention during the trading day, this sort of thing can happen. Because when I had a look at the iron ore companies, which probably would have been before 11, they were all up and up pretty good. And I thought, pretty good day on the ASX. Not true. Anyway, so let's have a look at the ASX 20. I'm going to say what was it, down 0? I'm going to say 8 companies up, 12 down. Oh, close. 9 up, 11 down. And the best performing companies, CSL, ANZ, National Australia Bank, Westpac. Where is CBA, Brambles, Macquarie Group, and Goodman Group? And I did see a company down by more than 5%. Fortescue down 5.75% again because of Chinese, or the lack of China, or the lack of new Chinese stimulus. So again, these iron ore companies performing at the whims of the Chinese government. GBA down 3.73%. Don't know why. BHP down, Woodside down, Rio Tinto down as well. Okay. Now let's turn our attention to the best and worst performing companies on the ASX. I had a feeling I'd forgotten something, but I haven't. Okay, I just noticed the XGO has had a little bit of a rise. Went from down 0.4% to down 0.31%. Resources went from down 1.88% to only down 1.47%. So a fair bit of volatility right now, which not sure what's happening. Maybe there's a bounce in iron ore. Who knows? Anyway, let's have a look at the top gainers and top losers of the day, focusing on the top gainers. Hopefully some of the companies in my top 5 stocks are in this list. Well, Rimfire Pacific isn't. And let's have a look at this company. Did they release anything today? And the answer to that is, where's the announcements? There it is. You can tell I'm a bit tired. A application for quotation of security. So no, they did release on the 4th. Drilling confirms high-grade copper and cobalt and associated copper at Bald Hill. And the share price has been on a bit of a roller coaster ride the last few days. I've noticed this company has been in the top losers and the top gainers over the past, few weeks. And you can see a massive drop in the share price, and now it's rallying again. The other thing I do like about this is the volume. Oh, what happened to my volume? Just disappeared. Let's go back, just reload. Not sure what happened there. And when I do lose volume, I just have to reload, and then Rimfire Pacific. What a pretty good name. That's a really good name. And I just have to decrease my... so really good volume. Look at that. Pretty big increase in volume. And in fact, today has been the highest volume since February, when the share price, or just after the share price broke out. And you can see really good volume when the share price was rising. But as the share price started to fall away or gradually drop, look at the dry up in volume. And then another increase in volume as the share price rallied. That's exactly what you want to see. If you see the flip side, or the opposite, increasing volume as the share price is dropping and no volume as the share price is rising, that's not good. Anyway, so that's Rimfire Pacific, another pretty good day for that company. Market 128 million. Have no idea what they do. They mine rimfires. Petrotherm, no idea what that company does, but fairly low volume. I'm trying to find a company that I do know. Proteomics International Laboratories, up 19.7%. Did I miss this one? I did see a bit of news about this company. No, I did not. The news I did see, I have a feeling, was in regards to some sort of institution starting coverage of this company. I'm trying to remember Proteomics, PIQ. Looks like I have to do $ PIQ. No, Proteomics. I'm going to spell this completely wrong. Proteomics. Nope. I did read something that there was someone, could have been like, maybe not Goldman Sachs, not someone like that, but someone that I have heard of before had initiated coverage for Proteomics, and their conservative price target, they said they were being very conservative with their price target, and their price target was something like 330% more than the share price. It was Rudy, it was, I'm pretty sure Rudy. Here, where is it? Here it is. This is it. East Coast Research. Okay, so it's not someone I know. We initiate coverage on Proteomics International Laboratories with a fair valuation of $2.84 $84, representing a 331% potential upside from the latest share price of 66 cents. We have taken a highly conservative approach in arriving at our valuation, using very cautious assumptions throughout the analysis. And I like the first comment, highly conservative, ? And then Rudy says that's what they say. I think the whole reason share price of Proteomics has jumped up is because of this particular announcement, or this particular tweet, or this particular coverage, initiation of coverage. So let's have a little chart for Proteomics. I can't tell you what this company does. Does the chart look good? Well, not really. It's an overly good chart, really big volume coming in. Maybe Proteomics, or maybe East Coast Research is taking a position in the company. Not liking the chart, unfortunately, for Proteomics. Anyway, what else do we have here? Company called Arc Mines. I wonder if they're building arcs and using materials to build arcs. There's nothing here. Nothing here. Maybe there'll be something in the top performers by market cap. There's West African Resources up 6.9%. I will discuss, actually, let's discuss that company now. So two companies actually did release some production results. First one was Capricorn Metals. September 2024 quarterly production update. Share price up a little bit, but overall gold has had a pretty good day. Have a quick look at the chart. I think the chart looks pretty good for Capricorn Metals. And yeah, I have no issues with this chart. Maybe a nice little buy the dip situation for this company. But West African Resources, and I'm surprised the share price hasn't rallied even more, but it just shows you when there's just a little bit of risk, the market just loses its mind. So today, the company released their production update, and before I knew, they actually also released another announcement. And I saw the share price had rallied, and I thought, oh, this must be a pretty good production update, or maybe it was just the bounce after the bad day yesterday. But West African confirmed status of mining permits in Burkina Faso. And the government has confirmed they're not focusing on West African. They're focusing on mining companies that are breaking the law, doing bad things. And West African isn't like that. So again, the media has overreacted and the market has overreacted. Share price has bounced 7% today. And the share price hasn't got back up to where it was. So it just shows you that negative sentiment, when there is negative sentiment or something bad happens and it's an overreaction from the market, it isn't instantly that the market recovers. It takes a while. So the share price still has to increase by another 15% to get back up to where it was before yesterday's announcement or the news a few days ago. Anyway, so it just shows you the opportunity remains even when there is clarification. So that's West African Resources, a pretty good day. Genus Plus, a company I do own, and the chart looks pretty good for that. One of my favorite charts, in fact, and then they're in the right space. Other than that, Lynch Group, Flowers, 6.2%. Phoenix Resources, the rest of iron ore has collapsed. Phoenix is still up. I'm pretty sure it did get to about 30 cents. And Orthocell, finally, we have a company that I will be talking about in a little bit more detail. Orthocell up 7.3%. I'll talk about that company later in the video. And that's it. So what happened to all my other company? What happened to Droneshield? I would have almost said with a 90% confidence rate that Droneshield would have been the top gainers. It's not. That's going to be interesting. And a few other companies I thought would have done well. One other company I thought would have done well. I'm pretty sure another company has done bad. And the whole reason I know it's done bad is because it's the top loser. And that top loser is Elixir Energy, down 56.97%. It has made it in my top 5 stocks of the day. So I'll talk about that company later. Other than that, nothing much of note. Some interesting companies here, but nothing I really want to discuss right now. So let's have a look at the worst performing companies by market cap. Fortescue. BrainChip had a really good day yesterday, bad day today. A lot of mining companies, Playsite Studios, EZZ Life Sciences. Let's have a look at the chart for that one. Share price has dropped a fair bit. I took profits at 460. And so even though the share price has dropped 2 days in a row, share price is still in a really, really good uptrend. The whole reason I took profits is I do think the share price or the shares are overbought, and I fully expect the share price to pull back. I might think about not getting back in because I still own a fair bit of shares, but I might think about buying some more shares if the share price falls to say $3.50. If the share price falls about $3, definitely yes. So I do expect a bit of a pullback in EZZ Life Sciences. And you might say, why didn't I sell that completely? Well, I could be mistaken. Share price could keep on rallying. The company could release a really good Appendix 4C and the share price goes to $10. Don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty. So that's why I do take profits, just to lock in some profits. And then if I'm wrong, that's fine. Share price keeps on going up. My portfolio keeps on going up. But if I'm right and the share price does pull back, I will buy those shares back at a cheaper price. Yeah, so Somnoded's down 8.11%. Fairly low volume though, so nothing else here. Anyway, so let's get into the top 5 stocks of the day. Now, I've already looked at West African and Capricorn metals. Initially, they were going to be in the top 5 stocks, but I thought, nah, just talk about those companies. The other company that could have made it was Brookside. So they have started production in a new project, whatever you want to talk about. Pretty big volume coming in, 50 million shares traded. Share price is really struggling to get above 1 cent. So it looks like whenever the share price gets to 1 cent, we do see a bit of dumping of shares on the market. The really interesting thing about this, I had a look at the orders. And I just noticed when you get to 1.1 cent, there is just a multitude of 2 million orders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row. Then another one, so 8 out of 9. I have no idea what that is. Is that just pip traders? And then another group of 2 million. I don't know what that is. That's unusual. Something is happening there. It could be just an institution is trying to suppress the price. Anyway, this company did release an announcement. So 80,000 barrels of equivalent oil. Did I get that right? And 4.3 million early revenue from their new Swish wells. That early revenue, I think, if I remember correctly, was in about a month. And everything's going to plan. If they achieve their goals, this could be considered one of the cheapest companies on the ASX. But there is still a lot of negative sentiment around this company. I did have a look at the hot copper, and still a lot of negative sentiment. A lot of negative sentiment. So a lot of dubious comments about share price rallying up. Share price never rallies with this company. It's going to be pip traders maintaining control of the share price. And that's exactly what's happening. It's just pip traders maintaining control. People buying at 1 cent or 0.9 cents and putting their sell order 1 pip higher. That is what's driving the share price. So what they have to do is a consolidation of shares to get rid of pip traders. And they're doing that. And I think the share price might rally as soon as they consolidate. It might not. Okay, so let's get to the top 5 stocks of the day. And we're going to start off with Orthocell. So what happened with Orthocell? Share price up 8.33%. Regulatory approval to commence Rimfire sales in Singapore. I like the sound of that. Regulatory approval, commencing sales. Now, Singapore, no. If that said USA, I would be, whoa. And the other thing I don't know is I don't know anything about this company, but how much money, what's the total addressable market of this in Singapore? So they have received regulatory approval from the Health Science Authority, HSA, in Singapore. Do they mention anything about numbers here? They do. So the global market for Rimfire is estimated to exceed $3.5 billion. Orthocell is on track to receive US FDA regulatory clearances in the first quarter of calendar year 25. So we are talking about not many months from now. Rimfire is gaining significant traction with new and existing surgeons in Australia and New Zealand, with record quarterly revenue reported for the September 24 quarter. So we can have a look at how much revenue or cash receipts they did have for the June quarter. They haven't released their Appendix 4C just yet. In fact, they went in trading halt for this announcement, so they thought it was going to be big. And let's have a look. So let's have a look at the Appendix 4C. How much receipts did they have? Is this company getting close to profitability and cash flow positiveness? So receipts of 976,000. If you take away the government grants and tax incentives, they were operating cash flow negative by about $2 million, and for the year, operating cash flow negative 6.5 million. So haven't reached or quite reached there yet. However, if you do look ahead, say maybe a year, maybe 2 years, if they do gain traction with Rimfire around the world, not only Singapore, and if they do get FDA clearance, it could be just that, the FDA clearance that leads to the surge in the share price. Now, in saying that, I'm pretty sure the share price is running, and not literally running, it's going higher. I did go for a run this morning, though, after work. Yeah, share price is running, yeah. And pretty big volume. This is actually a really nice looking chart. I do like this chart. Share price took off in September, early September, and really nice pullback. Oh, if I was following this chart, that would have been a really nice buy the dip situation. We did start to, oh no, actually we didn't. I was going to say, we did see the volume coming in before the share price started to take off again, but we didn't. The share price took off on the, what day was that? That was on the 3rd of October, increasing 11%. Pretty nice looking chart. Over the week, oh, we have to auto fit. This is the weekly chart. Even the weekly chart looks pretty good. And the share price right now is at a longer-term high. We're talking about almost, we'll say a 2.5-year high, almost a 3-year high with the share price, getting above a nice little resistance level. Not a strong resistance level, but it's there. This chart looks pretty good. I like it. I like this chart for Orthocell. If you own shares in this company, just tell me what you think about this company, what you think about Rimfire, because I don't know much about Orthocell, but I do like the chart. Okay, let's move on to company number 4. Company number 4 is a company I don't know much about. Audeara, AUA. What do they do? A recent listing on the ASX. But this company receives mass production purchase order from Clinico. Again, I like the sound of that. Share price up 8.33%. What is mass production order? What does that mean for this company? I have no idea because I don't know anything about Audeara. I'm just trying to think if there's any way you can determine what they do by the name. Have they something to do with ears? Or maybe love because it's got deer in there. I have no idea. Let's have a look what they do. Feel connected your way. Well, that doesn't give me any information. A global, I was going to say hearing, but that was just too, actually I did say ear, but I thought that was too obvious. Global hearing health leader specialized in innovative listening solutions for people with hearing challenges. Connecting people with experiences that bring them joy, whether that's watching a favorite TV show, FaceTiming family, or listening to music with confidence. That sounds really interesting. Audeara. Anyway, what is this particular announcement? Co-development mass production purchase order from Clinico. Pleased to announce that Clinico, the largest hearing aid retailer in Taiwan, has placed an purchase order valued at $570,000 for Clinico branded healthy hearing earbuds. What does it do with Audeara? What does Audeara do? So do they develop the Clinico branded healthy hearing earbuds? I'm a little bit confused there. A little bit confused there. The earbuds will be marketed and distributed across Taiwan and China with an official product launch anticipated in second quarter financial year 25. Anyway, so the market likes it. I'm a little bit confused right there. So it just makes it says order is for Clinico branded healthy hearing earbuds, which incorporate the company's leading sound personalization technology. There he goes. The second bullet point completely clears up my confusion. Yeah, so these hearing buds are Clinico, but they're incorporating Audeara's technology. Only $570,000, but this could be the step in the right direction for this company. The other thing I want to do is just have a look at the most recent Appendix 4C. How much traction do they already have? Is this company moving in the right direction? Appendix 4C. And what I want to see is, well, I want to see, preferably I'd like to see operating cash flow positive, free cash flow positive, and preferably I'd like to see at least receipts above $1 million. And they're not quite there. Receipts right on $1 million. It does look like they're gaining traction because if you compare the year to date to the current quarter, receipts have grown through the year, but still operating cash flow negative, but only $1 million, but they are moving in the right direction. Now let's have a look at the chart for Audeara. Is this moving in the right direction? Will I like this as much as Orthocell? I doubt it, but you never know. And the answer to that is no. Now, I do think there is an argument that the bottom has been reached. So share price, probably you could argue this company is illiquidly traded. The share price has had some good moves and some good volume has come in since February of this year. Just compare the volume spikes we have seen this year compared to 2023. There was nothing. There was no interest in this company in 2023. So there is now a little bit of interest in Audeara. I just needed a little bit of confirmation that this company is still moving in the right direction. And I prefer to see that the company has become operating cash flow positive and a free cash flow positive. So that's Audeara. Share price up 8.33%. Now let's have a look at the company coming in at number 3, Droneshield. Okay, I expected the share price to be up way more than 1.88%. And yes, there has been a bit of selling. Share price did get to a high of $1.44. That's understandable. So that's the share price rise. Not quite 10%, but it was getting close to being up 10% at its high. $13.5 million US government contract. I didn't even open up this announcement. I just went, oh, the market's kind of like this. The share price should rally. And I'll be honest, I haven't looked at the Droneshield chart for a while. I only trade this company. They are gaining good traction, but it's become too much of I wouldn't say a hype stock. Yeah, there's just too much interest out there when it comes to this company. And I think it's more of a trading company than anything else. So let's have a look at the chart for Droneshield. So we had that really good run up and then the share price just collapsed. In fact, when the share price did drop 22% on the 16th of July, that was a sell signal for me. I sold the previous day. I did buy back in because I thought it was oversold. So I bought back in the 23rd of July. Share price did not rally much. So then I sold out. Well, maybe no. I think I bought on the 18th of July. The share price rallied over the next 24 hours, but then I sold pretty quickly. And the share price did fall to $1. Lo and behold, $1. And if you just look at this chart without knowing what company it is, if the share price gets above $1.75, that would be positive. But a little bit of selling coming in today. So, and not much volume. So I'm a little bit surprised that the market didn't like this as much as I thought it would have. They released another contract win on the 11th of September, 3.1 million. And on that particular day, the 11th of, where is it? On that particular day, share price went up 0.81%. So there wasn't much reaction from that one, but this one was 4 times bigger. Anyway, so first time I looked at the chart for Droneshield for a while, and it is moving in the right direction at least. Anyway, let's move on to company coming in at number 2. Company called Elixir Energy. Share price down 57.58%. Now, the other day they released an announcement, Daydream 2 Operations Update. And then today, Daydream 2 Operations concluded. I thought, okay, the market probably knows that Daydream 2 Operations were concluding. But then again, I know nothing about this company. And obviously, the market didn't know. Why is it taking ages to open up? Stupid ComSec. If I open this up in Market Index, it'd be instantly. It's just unbelievable that Commonwealth Bank is the biggest company in Australia, yet the systems are still substandard. Anyway, they've mentioned here, final phase of flow testing to begin later in the week. Project Grandis in Queensland's Tarooma Trough. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's the announcement they released the other day. Today, let's have a quick look at what they said. What has caused the market to panic, maybe? Panic? 5 out of 6 stimulated zones flowed gas. Additional deep coal flow to increase contingent resources. Stabilized flow rate less than previously measured, but remedial in future wells. Well to be retained as future gas producer. All license commitments now met for ATP 2024 2044 and retention lease to be sought. Elixir has now concluded its testing program of the Daydream 2 well, and the well is being retained through a process of suspension as a future gas producer. Okay. I'm still a little bit confused at what has caused the market to absolutely hate Elixir Energy, but something definitely has caused it. Now, maybe I should have gone to Hot Copper and maybe seen what people are saying there. But this does confuse me a little bit. But again, I don't know anything about this company, and there's nothing really obvious to me, and I might be a little bit stupid. I'll guarantee you that. I might be a little bit stupid. And then maybe there is something really obvious in the highlight section, but I just don't see it. Anyway, share price, or the market has spoken. And the share price is down 57%. I thought this must have been like a duster or something. And not only that, share price has dropped during the day. Share price opened at 9 cents. Now it's at 7 cents. And that's the level the share price was back in March. So the chart actually did look pretty good. Chart looked pretty good before this day. And this has completely ended the good looking chart. So that's Elixir Energy. If you have any more insight into this particular announcement, I'd love to hear it. It's not obvious. It's not obvious why the share price is down. To me, it's not completely obvious. But maybe I'm missing something really obvious. And, you know, if you do give me the insight, I will learn something today. All right, so that's Elixir Energy. Now on to the stock of the day, which I have not mentioned just yet. And that company is a company that released an Appendix 4C. The second company to do it. Another company after this company released an Appendix 4C, but that company has no cash receipts. So the first company was Zuno last week, and the second company is a company I own. So I'm a little bit biased here, and that company is SenSen Networks. Share price up 12%. Oh, they have released a presentation. I'll love to read that. Okay, so let's have a look at this Appendix 4C. Not a lot of volume, not a lot of trade. So even though share price is up 12%, the market, if this was a really, really good Appendix 4C, there would have been a lot more volume, not 6 trades. So don't look at the share price increasing, look at the volume. And you can see there's a bit of a, well, in fact, the next trade, the share price will increase because the first buyer is at 5.7 cents and the first seller is 6.1 cents. Now, I did buy at 3.4 cents. So I am actually thinking of taking profits because these shares in this company are illiquidly traded. Now, one reason I'm hesitant, this company has won a few contracts in the past few months. SenSen wins tender with City of Calgary. They also won a tender with the City of Montreal as well. So they are gaining traction in Canada. And they actually did mention that in the Appendix 4C. But when I do open up the Appendix 4C, I don't look at the commentary. I don't focus on the commentary. I go straight to the cash flow statement. And as a shareholder, I'm always a little bit nervous because if the market doesn't like it, the share price of this company could have dropped 20% in one day, maybe even 30%. Okay, receipts to customers, 3.4 million. The company is operating cash flow positive, 318,000, and that is the second quarter in a row. Now, one of the reasons they are operating cash flow positive now is because they have curbed their spending. Now, if you do have a look, and I'm going to show you that right now, the cash receipts history for this company, it's gradually increasing through time. This is it. So gradually increasing through time. So I first started following this company way back in 2017. The December quarter of that year, $350,000 of receipts, and just see a gradual increase. So it's not a straight line. There are some good quarters, some little slightly negative quarters. For instance, the March quarter was 2.3 million. That was a negative quarter. The last 2 quarters, the second best quarter, well, actually the third best quarter and the best quarter during their history. So with these new contract awards in Canada, I think there's possibility the receipts could get above 4 million, 4.5 million, 5 million. And if they do continue control costs, this company could be operating cash flow positive $1 million. Well, I'm just saying it. So that is why I am a little bit hesitant saying right now, because the share price is gaining traction. We'll have a look at the chart in a second. Let's just have a look at some of the commentary as well. So second quarter of positive cash flow, ongoing cost reductions. Now, preferably, I want to see a company becoming operating cash flow positive because receipts are growing at a greater rate than the spending. But in this case, receipts are growing, but they're actually decreasing their costs. That's how the company has become operating cash flow positive. It's still positive, but I do prefer to see a company achieve that goal by increasing receipts at a greater rate than the spending. And then they just go through some of the stuff that's happened. They've also reduced debt. That's really important. This company does have a little bit of debt, and they've reduced debt. So with their operating cash flow, what they've decided to do is repay some of the debt. That's a good thing to do. I do like that capital allocation decision from management. So let's have a look at the chart for SenSen. SNS. Yeah, so no, that's the wrong one. That's another company. That company is that Malaysia? SenSen Networks. There's me taking position after the July results when they did have their very first operating cash flow quarter. That's why I bought some shares. I was thinking at the time, oh, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. It was just one quarter. So I bought some shares at 3.4 cents. The share price then dropped to 2.7 cents. And sometimes I do become a little bit early. But the share price has continued to rise since then. The one major flaw with the chart is the lack of volume. We haven't seen any big volume spikes. So I would prefer to see some good volume. So not my favorite chart. And that's another reason why I'm thinking of selling. But again, this company does have that potential to have a really good second quarter. Okay, so that is the top 5 stocks of the day. No other charts. Let's have a look at some of your comments. I do have about 20 minutes or so. Let's have a look. Mr. Choke-Sinakara. Hi, Kneppy. What's your view on Capral? I don't have any view on Capral. I do know this company had some trouble with, was it aluminium? Because of an oversupply of aluminium from Indonesia. This was many, many years ago. I can't remember. Anyway, I purchased at $9.90 based on below analysis. No debt. I do like that. Net profit for the year, about 30 million. Markup, 160 million. So we're talking about a P ratio of 5. That does sound attractive. Markup, excluding cash held by business, 93 million. So that means the company, that's what you've mentioned there is enterprise value. So markup minus cash plus debt is enterprise value. So the company's enterprise value is 93 million. So this company is trading on 3 times enterprise value. That's their profit. So the enterprise value is 3 times their profit, as business is holding $67 million in cash. PE of 5.67, but again, markup. And if you calculate the enterprise value, 3. Chart is an uptrend. Okay, I like what you're doing here. I look at those numbers, and I have never had a look at Capral. That does sound attractive. So you are selling Capral. So let's have a look at the chart for Capral. Is this aluminium? I've always had this thought that this was aluminium. Am I right? Aluminum, maybe? Doing a buyback? Probably, if this company is that cheap, doing the buyback is the best thing they can do. And that's an absolute guarantee. So let's open up their presentation. And I'm regretting that already because this might take a while. No. Business overview. Manufacturer of aluminum, or aluminium, sorry, it's my Americanism coming in. Manufacturer of an aluminium, I was going to say it again, aluminium extrusion, distributor of aluminium sheet and plate, supplier of industrial extrusion, supplier of aluminium value-added services. So what I was thinking that they did have a problem many, many years ago about some sort of problem with an oversupply of aluminium by the Indonesians or something, I forget. But that did significantly negatively affect Capral. And I would say more than likely those issues have come to an end. So let's have a look. Actually, let's have a look at the half-year accounts. So share price 960. Very quick look at their half-year accounts. So underlying EBITDA 28.7 million. Now it did drop from the previous corresponding period. Profit of 14.7 million. So that did drop from the previous year. Earnings per share of 83 cents. Share buyback returned 18 cents per share equivalent in first half. Strong balance sheet with net cash increasing to 67.8 million and no debt. Okay, so everything this guy said, or girl, Mr. Chokes and Scar, looks like it is right. Anyway, so let's have a look at the chart again. So this is daily chart, and this chart, it looked really good. I still remember the chart looking really good back between late 2020 and 2022. Share price went from $3.50 to $10, so a nice little free bagger. Since then, the share price hasn't done much. So this could be a value play. My question would be, why is the market not willing to pay any price for this company? Why is the market willing to only pay a discount for this company's profit? There must be a reason, and I don't know anything about Capral, don't know anything about aluminum or aluminium, and the chart itself, nah, not for me. Not well. The share price looked like it was trying to move into an uptrend, and the share price has pulled back. But on the pullback, I thought I was going to be safe, but we are seeing showers and storms develop. I don't know if you heard those thunder. Oh, I should end this video soonish. Anyway, to be honest with you, we very rarely lose power here. Everything's underground. Even during some of the major storms, and I'm talking about major storms like ex-hurricane Oswald, everyone else lost power, we didn't. Anyway, I think we do see some buying. When the share price does fall, we do see buying. And I would assume if they maintain this sort of profit, cash flow, I would assume value investors would love this company and they would put a floor on the share price. So just based on valuation, this could be a good hold. So I wish you and Capral all the luck. Oh, Sensei says, what is the backstory of Neuron Pharmaceuticals, Telix Pharmaceuticals, Clarity? This probably is a standalone video. I'm going to move on because I could spend 20 minutes on that. I've got stories for all three. So let's move on. Actually, no, I'm going to end it there because of the other and that sort of thing. So only one question or comment answered in today's video. Now, if you have any questions, any thoughts, leave those in the comment section of the video. Otherwise, I am not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day.